So ihr Lieben, willkommen noch einmal zurück zu Until Dawn. Ja, wir haben das Spiel durch, tränenreich abgeschlossen in der letzten Folge. Und ja, ich bin mir noch nicht ganz sicher, was ich jetzt mache, ob ich halt eine Bonusinhalte-Folge mache oder aber ja, das werden wir tun. Wir gucken uns hier nochmal an, was wir zuletzt eingesammelt haben, um noch ein paar letzte Informationen. Seht, wie viele Totems ich nicht gefunden habe. Das geht überhaupt nicht. Und einige Schmetterlingseffekte haben wir auch nicht erwischt. So, Sam ist entkommen, Mike ist in der Lodge gestorben. Und Ashley ist in der Mine gestorben. Und Emily ist entkommen. Chris ist gestorben, bevor er die Lodge erreichen konnte. Leider, ja. Das Ergebnis des Chaos, was wir hier verbreitet haben. So, ansonsten gibt es hier keine Inhalte mehr. Dann gehen wir mal zum Bonus. Die Besetzung haben wir schon getroffen. Wie man eine Szene macht, die Wissenschaft der Angst. Mal gucken, was wir hier überhaupt noch so haben. Ob sich das überhaupt 1000 Seiten, die Musik, von der Bühne zum Bildschirm haben wir mehrere Teile. Was zum Teufel? Und ihn zum Leben erwecken. Ich finde, das sieht hier richtig cool aus und diesen Videoclip werden wir uns jetzt mal reinziehen.
Just move over there. Go on, move. Let me say what I came to say. I'm here to tell you what you're up against being back on this mountain. You should never have returned. I don't know why you did after what happened last year.
You mean with Hannah and Beth?
Yeah, how could you know without being involved?
I don't take kindly to you kids coming up here to my mountain.
Your mountain.
The mountain don't belong to me, it's true. But it don't belong to the Washingtons. This mountain belongs to the Wendigo.
Hi, this is Lee Robinson, production designer at Supermassive Games. Understanding the ancient myths of the Wendigo was key for their development that helped the visual look. Through sketches and concepts, these elements were visualized, such as eyes being milky, almost dead, with loss of lips and eyelids due to frostbite, fangs growing and arms and legs getting longer, with skin hardening and thickening to look snarling and menacing, yet withered and lean.
What the hell was that? Another fucking piece of...
Fingers and toenails extending like claws, allowing them to climb effortlessly. We made them look gaunt and weathered, and having ragged remains of clothes they wore. Blood-stained and rotten, with patches of hair still remaining, they retained strong skeletal limbs, which enable them to be agile and quick through the environment.
Where are you?
My name is Jamie Gallipo, animation director at Supermassive. The overall direction on the creature was to be very strong, to be extremely fast. We wanted a spider-like movement to the creature. 1 minute scampering to leaping and then crawling, almost instantaneous. And finally, we wanted the creature to have this real, uncontrollable thirst for flesh.
From a sound design perspective, the Wendigo is a real challenge. For the main vocalisations of the Wendigo, we used our own vocalisations, various different animals from the exotic to the farmyard, various plugins and processes to gel these sounds together and keep a human resonance behind that voice, telling the backstory of the Wendigo. During the chase sequences, the anger of the Wendigo is felt by encircling breaths, screams and screeches that essentially chase you as you're being chased by the Wendigo. We would layer them up in a multitude of layers, sometimes 15, 20 sounds playing at the same time, to build up the vocalizations for this fearsome creature which is always in attack mode, hyperactive and chasing you throughout the game.
Ja, da hatten wir zum Schluss eben sogar eine Szene, die wir gar nicht gesehen haben, weil beide vorher gestorben sind. Ja, das war so ein paar kleine Infos zum Wendigo. Das finde ich recht cool. Und hier haben wir noch einen Bonusclip. Was zum Teufel? Das klingt auch ganz interessant und da schauen wir auch gleich nochmal rein.
America's Northwoods border region. Within this land of 10,000 lakes and miles of dense timber, a hideous creature is believed to lurk.
The Northwoods is probably one of the last frontiers in America. There's still a lot of places in this area that hasn't been set foot by man. Monsters and mysteries exist here because it is remote.
Up in the Northwoods, winters are long. In times of biting cold and isolation, a devouring monster is believed to come forth. It's terrorized native people for generations.
Growing up, I was told, like, don't go outside, the Wendigo will get you.
Among the traditions of the northern Algonquin tribes is the Wendigo, a monster that can seize hold of a person to carry out its hunger for human flesh.
Many Native Americans fear even talking about this Wendigo, and even the mention of the name will let the Wendigo find out where you are, and it will open you up to be possessed by this Wendigo.
The most famous case of a Wendigo possession took place in 1879 in the deep woods outside of Edmonton, Alberta. Swift Runner, a Cree Indian, was a trapper and a guide. He had left town the previous autumn with his wife, 6 children, and his mother. But when Swift Runner returned in spring, he was alone.
Swift Runner came into a nearby village telling this heartbreaking tale.
I had to watch them starve to death.
Of his family being killed by starvation, and that he was the only survivor.
My whole family gone.
It wasn't hard to understand a family falling victim to a brutal winter.
To even not.
Yet something was suspicious about Swift Runner.
He was a strapping man, and he came into town weighing over 200 pounds. It didn't look like somebody who had just weathered a terrible winter. He wasn't malnourished, didn't look like he was starving. He looked healthier than ever.
After a few nights, it became clear that something was wrong.
He started having night terrors, screaming in his sleep.
I am the Wendigo!
Villagers alerted the police.
Swift Runner actually guided them back to his winter cabin. When they got there, that's when they saw the true horror. Human skulls were scattered around, many bones, some of which had been snapped in half, and the marrow inside had been drained. They had never seen anything like it. Swift Runner had killed his entire family, shooting them, hitting them with an axe, strangling, and then eating most of their bodies.
Right up until the moment the noose was on his neck, Swift Runner swore the evil spirit of the Wendigo had possessed him and twisted him into a cannibal killer.
When he was on the gallows, Swift Runner himself said, "I am no longer a man."
Was zum Teufel? Ja, da gibt es noch ein paar Informations und ja, die Frage ist, was haben wir denn hier noch? Von der Bühne zum Bildschirm. Das könnte eigentlich auch ganz interessant sein, aber die Wissenschaft der Angst, das klingt doch auch ganz gut, oder?
Until Dawn is a game that's full of horror, and one of the things we decided to do early on was to take a scientific approach to how scary it was. So we did experiments on people and we measured their responses to the game. We've created a test area. It's as close to a home setup as we can get it. We've recruited ordinary people to play the game and we've left them to play it on their own.
You're turning the light off.
The only difference is it's rigged with cameras and microphones that relay the data through to the next room where people are watching them play. Bracelet here we use for biometric testing. It measures the player's emotional response. It's called a galvanic response sensor. It makes contact with the user's skin and it measures the electrical conductivity across their skin. It's the same principle as an old-fashioned lie detector. When you're stressed, you sweat a little, very sensitive, and picks up tiny changes if the player is feeling anxious or scared. That data's fed back to a testing team, it comes through as a graph.
I'm so sorry.
There's no point testing one or two people, you have to test a lot of people.
Watch your step.
When we have a scare that's consistently has a measurable emotional response, then we knew it was good. If it didn't have that, it goes back to the team for improvement. The data doesn't tell us what's wrong with the scare, it only tells us if it's working or not.
Wait, okay, so you hear that too, right? Josh.
Here we have a chapter relatively early in the game.
Weirdly regular.
Nothing regular about it.
We have to create tension and anxiety in the player so they are ready to receive the scare. Give the player time to recover, to cool down, to calm down, and then start building the tension again before we do the next scare.
Hey.
What?
Hey!
What the hell?
Boom. You just got mugged.
Yeah, I have such an adrenaline high from that game.
There's two things we found. One is we could look at the scares, analyse if our expected scares were working effectively. Were people shrieking and covering their hands, or were they getting an emotional response from it? And being scientific about it means that we strip out people's opinions about whether things are working or not. We've got data, and we look at the data. If it's working, we're happy with it.
Really scary.
Bit scared and wanting to get away. I actually maybe a bit scared to play it on my own, but
in a room with the lights on, yeah, with some other people as well, yeah, maybe.
But because I'm a scaredy cat, I would play with someone in the room and the lights on.
It was one of the scariest games I've played in a long while.
Ja, das war doch mal geil, Leute, und das wäre mein Job. Ich hätte liebend gern dieses Spiel auch getestet mit so einem Detektor da am Handgelenk, um den Puls zu messen. Finde ich relativ geil. So, und ich denke, das war's jetzt mit dieser Folge. Bonusinhalte. Ich glaube, ich mache eine dann noch. Musik weiß ich nicht, ob wir das anschauen, aber hier auf jeden Fall von der Bühne zum Bildschirm und so weiter. Da gucken wir noch rein. Und dann sehen wir uns einfach in der nächsten Folge wieder. Bye, bye!